That was issue 2. Let's move on to issue 3. Daily Bugle, New York's finest daily paper. Vulture squawks. Toombs claims frame-up, blames wall crawler. By Ben Urich. Adrian Toombs, aka the high-flying Vulture, used his day in court to crow for his crimes. Upon taking the stand, Vulture screeched about Spider-Man instead of owning up to his criminal behaviour. Toombs claimed the masked vigilante was the true mastermind behind his dastardly deeds. The jury humoured Toombs, as it's a well-known fact Spider-Man was the very one to apprehend the bald buzzard for the police. With a unanimously guilty verdict and his wings clipped, the Birdman can warble all he wants about his innocence from his personal cell in the maximum security prison, the Raft. A bright sun in the city. Harry Osborne lobbies for environmental sustainability. By Robbie Robertson. Mayor Norman Osborne announced the brilliant scientist behind the revival of his late wife's research program. It happens to be none other than their young entrepreneurial son, Harry Osborne. An idea once thought impractical, the program was a passion project of young Harry Osborne, who reportedly dedicated the past few years to proving out the potential of the rooftop labs. According to materials distributed by Oscorp, the rooftop labs were primed to assess city smog levels and monitor clean water systems, among other environmental factors. When the idea was presented to City Council, Harry's project was not only awarded a generous grant, but became a centrepiece of his father's citywide improvement initiative. Environmental advocates anticipate positive change throughout New York City from the lab's findings, with the hopes that the program becomes an example of the future of clean, sustainable city living. Rocks on. As your trusted energy source for over a century, we're working to ensure a clean future for everyone. Let's refine the future. Together. Amateur Arachnids. Spider Menace is rousing a generation of DIY vigilantes. Special op-ed by J. Jonah Jameson. The Spider Menace's influence over the city is out of control. Children's costumes and Halloween masks are one thing, but when copycats are prowling the streets in bargain store costumes, it's a problem. It seems another side effect of his unchecked vigilantism comes in the form of powerless imitators running amok. Sure, they'll get the few perks of wearing his mask, fan selfies, freebies from Spider sympathizers. They won't be so lucky when they come across any one of the webhead's enemies. One moment they're squeezing ketchup on their free frank, and the next they're receiving the kiss of a big burly fist from one of Spider-Man's angry adversaries. I implore you all to leave crime fighting to the courageous men and women of the police force. As if one Spider Menace wasn't enough, they sure don't need a militia of costumed amateurs harassing people on the street. And the Spider Brat certainly doesn't need any more encouragement than he's got. Fisk is back. Mogul brushes off Kingpin rumours as new tower opens. By Cat Farrell. Wilson Fisk returned from his business trip to Japan for the grand opening of Fisk Tower. Fisk himself sliced the symbolic opening ribbon strung in front of the entrance, appearing unfettered by the recent allegations framing him as New York City's criminal kingpin. Just a short while ago, the Daily Bugle was the first to report that Wilson Fisk's offices had been searched in an effort to put the kingpin rumours surrounding him to rest. Authorities who conducted the investigation concluded there was no evidence suggesting connections between Fisk and New York City's organised crime. As a result, the investigation was closed. When asked for comment about the scandal, Fisk's only response was a coy smile, a sip of his brandy, and a referral to his lawyers. While the CEO celebrates his new self-titled high-rise, the police commissioner is in talks with police captain Yuri Watanabe about future protocol for investigations. Feast. Food emergency, aid, shelter, training. Now seeking part-time volunteers for the following positions: kitchen staff, resume builders, activity organisers, Stop by any location to apply. A different kind of superhero. A closer look at Martin Lee by Ben Urich. Everyone has a past, yet wealthy businessman Martin Lee seemingly doesn't. The Daily Bugle investigated just how he became New York City's most beloved philanthropist. Turns out, Lee epitomizes the American dream. As an orphan, Lee bounced between Manhattan foster homes before disappearing to China, the homeland of his immigrant parents. Nearly a decade later, Lee returned with millions of dollars and a big heart. Upon his arrival, Lee founded his feast shelters to ensure nobody ever feels forgotten or abandoned. Lee's mysterious past resembles that of the costumed crime fighters protecting our neighborhoods, minus the mask and suit. In fact, Martin Lee could be the everyday hero we've waited for. We love him not. Mostly. City Split on Spider-Man by Betty Brant. Since swinging into New York City years ago, Spider-Man has developed quite the reputation, for better or for worse. His small fan base claims thugs would have sacked the city if not for him. But critics claim he's destructive and careless. Our taxes have increased thanks to his recklessness. Some hero, grumbled one older Manhattanite. Amongst the naysayers is Mayor Osborne, who refuses to believe the web-slinger is on our side. As previously reported, the mayor has several plans in development aimed at curbing our growing dependence on Spider-Man. Are we ready for a Spidey-free city? Will we ever not need or want him anymore? End of issue 3. On to issue 4. Daily Bugle, New York's finest daily paper. Will Scorpion sting or sing? Trial begins tomorrow. By Kat Farrell. MacDonald Mac Gargan, aka the deadly mecha criminal Scorpion, has finally been apprehended by police, thanks in no small part to the heroic efforts of Spider-Man. Wanted for multiple counts of criminal activity, including attempted murder and attempted kidnapping, the venom-tipped supervillain is now due to stand trial. While the poisonous public enemy is known to be the silent but deadly type, the district attorney isn't letting him go so easy. Prosecutors are expected to put considerable pressure on Gargan tomorrow to speak for his crimes. Regardless of whether Gargan admits to the list of criminal charges he's racked up or not, it's a no-brainer. Scorpion's one-way ticket to maximum security prison, the Raft, is punched. A 5-star mayor. Mayor Norman Osborn's approval ratings are unmatched by Ben Urich. Findings from the latest polls regarding Mayor Norman Osborn's approval ratings show high favourability amongst New Yorkers. This comes as no surprise as the mayor has proven his outstanding dedication to the improvement of our great city. Unlike his predecessors, Mayor Osborne has carried out many of his promised initiatives, from an environmental research program to a citywide crime monitoring system, and these are just 2 promising items from his docket of initiatives. The CEO of Oscorp has clearly shown he's capable of not only taking a government position, but following through on his promises as well. And with the rigid support of New Yorkers behind him, it seems Mayor Osborne has the momentum to continue doing just that. Cop out. Foreign security firm courts crime-ridden city. Op-ed by Jacinda C. Despite the mayor's crime monitoring system, City Hall is reportedly communicating with Silver Sable, head of Symkaria-based security force, Sable International. Rumour has it a potential contract is being discussed to bring her guards to the city in an effort to bolster local law enforcement. Sable International is known for intervening in European countries that struggled against rising crime and other internal social issues. Yet the organisation has an alarming track record of overstepping their boundaries, often intimidating civilians and disregarding local law enforcement's policies altogether. Is crime so bad we have to resort to this? The mayor's new crime monitoring system hasn't even truly launched. Officials should give it a chance before calling on dangerous and unpredictable foreign forces to supplement New York's finest. Bon voyage, Harry. Harry Osborne heads overseas to manage Oscorp by Betty Brandt. Under mounting pressure from city officials, Mayor Osborne has finally announced his departure from Oscorp overseas. The mayor revealed in a press conference that he will no longer manage Oscorp's international affairs, appointing his young son, Harry Osborne, as his international successor. Osborne's appointment was long overdue. Immediately after graduating from Empire State University at the top of his class, the young Osborne successfully pitched a revival plan for his late mother's research labs. In his new role overseas, Harry Osborne is primed to manage all of Oscorp's European offices and projects. While New York City will miss its prodigal son, we're already excited to see the greater good he'll undoubtedly do for the world at large. Millennials in peril. Rising rent prices dash big city dreams. By Mary Jane Watson. The struggle for freshly graduated millennials is about to get real as city rent suffered another jarring increase. As reported previously, young professionals were going broke from the city's incredible rental rates, with many blaming Spider-Man's recklessness for the market impact. But what about the real destructive forces, the masked maniacs he's defended us against? Spider-Man has defeated every one of the costumed criminals who have declared war on New York and wreaked subsequent havoc. Had the web-slinger not shown up 8 years ago, there wouldn't be a city to hike rental prices in the first place. Besides, the rebuilt skyline is always better than the last, thanks to construction titan Wilson Fisk. He's reassembled the rubble from practically every corner of the city, even in the smaller, once affordable boroughs. It's no wonder debt-ridden millennials are draining their savings to keep up. New York City was once the place for starry-eyed youngsters with sky-high aspirations. However, as prices soar ever higher with no end in sight, for many, those dreams remain just that. Dreams. Don't believe everything you read. Tune in to Just the Facts with J. Jonah Jameson, prize-winning publisher and acclaimed author. Chinatown Demons. Masked Thugs Raise Hell. By Ben Urich. Unbelievably, a new gang has arrived in our already crime-riddled city, and the Daily Bugle is first with emerging details on the masked newcomers. Wearing black tie suits and terrifying Chinese masks, this new gang of well-dressed demons is terrorizing citizens. While no official reports state where the group came from, it seems they have made Chinatown their headquarters. Could it be that international crime is carving out a new home in our city? While locals have expressed their fears, New York City's billionaire philanthropist Martin Lee feels differently. Groups like that are after thousands of dollars in money. Many in this area cannot afford that, especially those in the feast shelters. If it's money they want around here, I'm afraid they'll be disappointed, he says. While Lee's statement carries truth, many are wondering just how long their pocket money is safe before these metal-masked goons start shaking down citizens for their loose change. Mixed restaurant. Stop in for authentic Italian home cooking. Just rated by NYC's top food critics. So, those are all the issues of the Daily Bugle that have been made available at the moment. I've completely destroyed my throat, completely destroyed my voice. Let's hope it repairs itself in the next 8 hours until Spider-Man comes out on the PS4 and I'll get to playing it. Until then, hope you enjoyed this. Bye for now.